Let's start with a kind of a wild idea. What if that device in your hand or on your desk right now has been quietly turning you into a scientist? Without the lab coat, without a government grant, and maybe without you even noticing it. So let me just ask you straight up. Are you a scientist? Yeah, I'm guessing your answer was probably no. You're picturing someone with goggles and beakers, right? But what if that whole image is just completely out of date? Because the classic image of science has totally shifted. It's moved out of these exclusive, closed-off institutions and, well, right into our pockets and onto our screens. The walls that used to separate professional researchers from, the rest of us, they're starting to crumble. And that is the absolute core of what we're talking about today. The fact that we've all adopted consumer tech, our phones, our watches, all our smart devices, is giving us the power to observe, to measure, and to analyze the world in a way that was literally unimaginable just a generation ago. It's not just about having cool gadgets. It's about a whole new way of knowing things, a new way of finding answers for ourselves. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to look at it in 3 parts. First, how this tech has given all of us new senses. Second, how it's given us a new mind, and finally, how it has created a brand new kind of laboratory that's open to everyone. All right, let's dive into part 1, your new senses. This is all about how the tech we carry around every single day has supercharged our ability to see the world and, more importantly, to collect data about it. See, your phone is so much more than a phone. It's an incredibly high-precision sensor array. I mean, it is packed with scientific instruments that not too long ago you could only find in serious research labs. And these sensors, they're passively gathering huge amounts of data all the time. Think about what these things are actually doing. They're constantly measuring. Let's say your smartwatch tells you that your sleep quality tanks every Tuesday night. So you form a little hypothesis. Is it that late-night coffee I have on Tuesdays? So you stop drinking it, and you check the data again. Boom. That's it. That's observation, hypothesis, and experimentation. You are literally doing science on yourself. Now take that little personal experiment and scale it up, way up. As this quote gets at, when you multiply that data collection by billions of phones around the globe, the entire human population becomes a massive, decentralized sensor array. Seriously, the air pressure data from our phones helps create better weather forecasts. The accelerometer data can help map earthquakes in real time. We've basically become a planetary-scale scientific instrument. And it's not even just the sensors that come standard. These simple little attachments can turn your phone into an insanely powerful scientific tool, letting you see a whole invisible world all around you. You can literally see the heat leaking from your windows or check out the microorganisms swimming in a drop of pond water. And when the invisible suddenly becomes visible, well, that just naturally sparks curiosity, doesn't it? It makes you want to understand why. Okay, so we've got these incredible new sensors for collecting all this data, but now what? What do we actually do with it all? And that brings us right to part 2, your new mind. Because it's one thing to collect a mountain of data, but it's a whole other challenge to actually make sense of it. And to really get this next part, we need to touch on a slightly fancy word, epistemology. I know, it sounds super academic, but it's actually something you do all day, every day. It's just the process of figuring out how you know something is true. What's the evidence? How did you connect the dots to get to that conclusion? And this, right here, this is the game changer. Technology is giving every single one of us access to these tools of knowing. It's not just feeding us facts anymore. It's handing us the power tools to find the patterns for ourselves, to draw our own conclusions from all that noise. AI is the perfect example of this. It's like your own personal research assistant, and it just demolishes the barrier to entry for these incredibly complex fields. You don't need a PhD in genetics to start making sense of your DNA results anymore, or years of training to identify what star you're looking at. You've got an expert mentor on demand ready to help you figure it all out. So this brings us to our final piece of the puzzle. Part 3, your new laboratory. We've got our new senses to observe and our new mind to analyze, so now we need new places to actually do the science. And these labs, they're not made of brick and mortar. They're built out of networks. This is where the whole world of citizen science just explodes. You've got platforms like eBird where anyone, anywhere can contribute really meaningful observations to these massive global data sets. And sometimes it's even a game. You gotta hear this. Players of a game called Fold It solved an incredibly complex protein folding problem that had stumped professional scientists for over a decade. They did it by turning hardcore science into a collaborative puzzle. How cool is that? Even the culture of the internet itself kind of hardwires us to think this way. Every time you go down a rabbit hole online to fact check something, searching for sources, comparing different claims, trying to spot bias, that whole process is a perfect mirror of scientific skepticism. Whether we realize it or not, we're training ourselves to question, to verify, and to demand proof. So, when you put it all together, our new senses, our new mind, and our new laboratory, what do you actually get? Well, you get a really profound shift. We are walking into an era where the entire planet is becoming one giant collaborative lab, and absolutely everyone is invited to join in. What's happening is that technology is creating a whole new kind of citizen scientist. Someone who has the tools to observe the world with the keen eye of a naturalist, to analyze data like a statistician, to test ideas like a researcher, and maybe, most importantly, to question assumptions like a philosopher. The big takeaway here is that science isn't something that just happens over there anymore, in some ivory tower or a sterile lab. It's becoming woven into the very fabric of our daily lives. It's something we can participate in, it's accessible, and it's being driven by the exact same tools we use to just get through our day. So the next time you check your fitness stats, or you use an app to identify a plant, or you just spend an hour trying to verify some claim you saw online, just remember, you're not just using technology. You're actually taking part in this scientific process. Which really just leaves us with one final and I think pretty exciting question. With these new senses, this new mind, and this new laboratory right there in your pocket, what will you discover next?